Welcome back. We are talking about your power potential part dalawa. So now what we last time talked about was the fact that you have power inside of you, and that at times people might criticize you for it, people not understand the dreams that God has given you, but how we need to stick to it. Now Joseph, our man, was a little bit zealous, lacking a little wisdom, and he told his dreams to his brothers who did not like him and put him in a tough spot. So we might be thinking, why go through all this trouble? Why go through all this trouble, getting persecuted, getting people hating on you for all these dreams that, it might feel like we don't have a big effect. Like, what can I do? I am just me. I am just one person. Now I'm gonna tell you that God has put a power inside of you to change the atmosphere, to change the circumstances around you. Story time. When I was a kid, back in the 90s, the good old simpler days, I don't know how, but I always had three things in my life that when I come back and I think about it, I always had. I always had soccer balls, I had this yellow rope, and I always had fireworks. I don't know how, but the 90s were a simpler time. Also with the fireworks, there's a good lesson that I have that relates to our story. Just bear with me. So we had this fireworks called a black cat, and we could put it in the water, and that was really cool because we never had that before. So we put this in a water bottle, and we threw it in there, and went boom, and it was like, okay. We were expecting more. We were expecting better. Now, relating this to Joseph, Joseph was in the circumstances that when he spoke to his brothers, he didn't make that much of an impact. He's like, you guys are gonna bow to me. I'm gonna be important. I'm gonna be, someone. And everybody was like, nah. His little power and potential in that circumstances, in that environment, didn't go very far. So me and my brother, we decided, let's do something bigger. We had a pool. And so our pool was a little cloudy, needed some chlorine and stuff. We're like, we'll throw it in there, see what happens. So we threw that firework in there and went, and we saw like some ripples. But we're like, that was okay, but we wanted more. Now Joseph, after he was put in slavery, he was sold to a man, and he still had favor, he still had God's potential inside of his life, but he was later framed and thrown into prison. Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker were thrown in the same prison as Joseph. Joseph interprets the dreams for them. He's like, hey, cupbearer, you have great news, you're gonna go back to the Pharaoh. Hey, baker, sorry, you're gonna die. And so that's what happened. And then the cupbearer went back to Pharaoh, and later we'll talk about what happens there, but back to the fireworks. We were like, okay, we're gonna make this firework work. So we decide, hey, we can't see it, but we can hear it. Let's get really close so that way we can see it. So we get in the water. It's all murky. And me and my brother, we're about a foot away from each other. Like, okay, let's do this. So we take that firework, we light that bad boy, and we make it go down, and it's going down. And then, bam! And we were like, oh, whoa, that was intense. My brother was like, what? And I was like, yeah, what? And I mean, it's amazing that I survived the 90s, to be completely honest with you. So back to Joseph. So Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, he's like, I had this really dream and it's in my mind. I need it interpreted. And the cupbearer, who Joseph talked to and told him what was gonna happen, he's like, yo, I got this man, his name's Joseph. I kind of forgot him in prison, but he could probably interpret your dream. So we know the story. Joseph is brought to the Pharaoh. He interprets his dream, and then later he becomes the second highest man in Egypt. So he was in the right situation. His words, the same vision, the same dream, the same firework made a different impact in what circumstances he was in. The same firework that me and my brother used in the water bottle was the same one that almost blew our faces off. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the gifts inside of you can be used in the right circumstances, in the right situation to make a massive impact when he tells you to. Maybe you're good at singing, maybe you're good at filming, maybe you're good at sports. Whatever God has given you, I guarantee you that he can make an impact inside of you and others around you in the right situation. So in 2021, I challenge you to think about this, pray about this, ask yourself, what has God given you? What's the gifts that God's given you to make a difference? Be blessed, have a great new year. Until next time, see you then.